To start using the Unreal Editor, first you have to install Unreal Tournament 2004. Unreal Tournament 2004 was made in, as you might guess, 2004, and includes the level editor, which is a really smart and sweet move of the directors. To find it, just go to the installation directory, which is where Unreal Tournament was installed. Go down to System, scroll down a bit, and you'll find the editor right there. Just double click on that, the splash art will pop up, it's really pretty, and after a while the thing will load. I've already loaded it for us since that thing takes forever. Right now I've loaded up a level I've made for the project beforehand. And I'll be using this to show you how to navigate the editor and to show you what all these nifty little buttons do, except for these right here because I just like using the view. But I'll explain that later. First of all, there's these four screens right here. This one's called top, this one's called front, this one's called side, and this one's actually called perspective view, not dynamic light. The only reason it's labeled dynamic light is because that's the option I have it set on right now, because it's the one that makes the most sense. The top view allows you to view the level from the top, as you might expect. The front from the front, the side from the side, and the perspective lets you dinky around with the camera and see what everything looks like at different angles. To control this camera, you can right click to look around, hold the left mouse button down to zoom in, zoom out, or just turn, and then hold both mouse buttons down to change your altitude or strafe right or left. Okay, so let's make our first room. To do that, we're going to need to use these buttons over here. These buttons represent the various different shapes that you can use to make your levels, or more accurately, to make the level geometry, which is the basic shape of the level. For a comparable analogy, the geometry of a level would be equivalent to the terrain of the cities that we live on. For example, San Francisco consists of a lot of buildings, but they're all situated on hills. The level geometry of San Francisco would basically be a bunch of hills. So let's start with a cube, because I like cubes. So the way the Unreal Engine works is that the entire world is a giant mass, and the level is simply this sort of cave system carved out of the mass. So for example, if we hit add, nothing happens. Now we can move the brush by clicking on it. If I click on it, there we go. Holding down Control and click, dragging it around places. We can also do that with Shift, although that moves our screen with it too, which can be both convenient and inconvenient at different times. You'll notice this blue brush appeared somewhere, and meanwhile, there it updated, which is another important thing. These screens don't update in real time. Rather, they're still images, and when you finalize your changes once, say I'm spinning around in circles over here, and I decide to be over here, it won't update. You have to click on it before it refreshes. Anyways, this blue brush right here is an additive brush, and right now it's kind of useless because we haven't subtracted anything, so we really can't add anything back in, so we'll just delete that, and then we'll subtract space. So as you can see, this has essentially carved out a small portion of this huge map to serve as a little room. For our first basic room, we can just add a player start by right-clicking, press add player start right here, right-clicking on the ceiling, selecting add light, pressing build all, ignoring that because that doesn't really matter. If we move this, we notice this is a yellow brush, which is indicative of subtractive brushes. Incidentally, if we move this over here, ignore the properties window, and press add, we'll see that a chunk of the room has been taken away, because now it's been added back into the mass of the level. So let's test this level out. Oh hey, that's my video editing software that you probably shouldn't see. Yeah, I'll be cutting this part out. This is taking forever. You can ignore this window over here. Yeah, most of level design is actually sitting around waiting for things to finish. And we'll all. That was our first room, and oh god, why did I do that? So I can see the additive brush has added this part of the world back in, so I have even less of a cube than I normally do. And these funky textures are called the default textures, and they're loaded when I created the room because I didn't have any cooler textures to implement them with. So nice. Press tilde to open up the console, type in quit, and as you guessed it, we quit. Okay, so I ran out of time on explaining how to make an actual level, so if you're actually interested in this kind of stuff, like I am, then talk to me about it in class or after class, and I can do several things. I can make more instruction videos explaining how to make these kinds of levels in Unreal Engine or the UDK. I can explain the UDK 3, for example, which I would be doing, but running that and running a video recorder at the same time would basically frag my computer. I can also load you several textbooks, and I can load you a copy of the actual game itself, so you can install it and get the editor. Obviously, I want the disc back. Anyways, I'm using my remaining time to showcase my final level, so here it is. These things right here are called static meshes. They're used as decorations. Excuse me. They're used as decorations, and the reason they're used as decorations is because they require very little. I don't know what the proper term is, but they're very easy for the computer to load. This, for example, is called an actor, and actors take up a lot more time to load. So if each one of these decorations was an actor, the resulting level would take almost forever to load. So static meshes are used so you can copy them over and over and over again. So this loads one copy and places it everywhere you've placed it, which is probably the best explanation I can think of for layman's terms. These little blue things right here are health files. They're part of the game, and they're known as pickups, because when you run over them, you pick them up and you gain health. Nice. These apples you don't actually see in game, and they're called path nodes. They're little nodes that the AI use to navigate along the level through special paths. Actually, I should show you guys that. Where is it? Right click, view, show paths. Alright, these paths connect each of the major actors, such as weapon spawn or the health spawn, and the path nodes. This allows the AI bots to navigate throughout the level and not get stuck at that one spawn, and helps the AI fight the players as difficulty increases. So basically it provides a nice little challenge to just them standing there getting shot at. The green and blue lines show that the AI is able to move along this path, while the white lines are basically essentially green good. The more green you have, the better. Yeah. So let's play. Check how much time I have left. Sweet, 3 minutes. Yeah, in case I didn't mention it earlier, the worst part about designing levels is the waiting. Because this is a really small level, a really quick thing. Like, a pro level designer will be able to crank this out in no time. Wish I could crank this out in no time. But yeah, a full-on professional campaign map would take forever to build and load and test. So I'm going to do some cheats right here so I can float up, look down. And one thing, I noticed this game is really, how to say it, violent, and I may get in trouble for showing this, so I'm removing myself as far from the action as possible, while still being able to provide running commentary. And let's do this. Add bots for repeat, and this should be good. Alright, so that guy's exploded. Okay, muting the computer right now. Oh, wait, you guys probably didn't hear that because we're with earphones. Good, because some family unfriendly language going on right here. No, wait. I forgot, it records the actual computer sounds too because it recorded the gunshots earlier. Actually, I have no idea, but better safe than sorry. And whoa, that's getting intense over there. So yeah, that level. Flat gun OP, because that is basically. Oh my god, that floor just exploded. Yeah, I think that's person. Who's winning, actually? So some person named Lauren is winning at 7, followed by Aris. Actually, they're tied at 7, and me at 0. I'm gonna count, by the way. Yeah. Incidentally, to prove my point that the whole world is made out of a giant mass and the level is carved out of it, well, for one, the fact that I can see into the level in the first place. But notice that if I try to fire into it, nothing happens. Basically, the whole world is surrounded by mass, and so I can't do anything over there unless I go inside there. If you'll notice, it looks like the bullets are ricocheting right in front of me, just because there's basically mass everywhere. It's like the opposite of outer space, essentially. Like, instead of there being a huge mess of nothing, there's a huge mess of everything. And wow, I'm down by 11 points now. Maybe if I move it better. Now that I muted the computer, we can actually go watch things. Yeah, the AI uses some really nasty language at times. Kind of not safe. Okay, not saying it's bad, but I don't want to get in trouble for this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm gonna wait till that comes out to 17, and then I'll stop the video. So yeah, if you're interested in how to make video in levels like this, then just let me know and I can help you out there. This was totally worth blowing the last 3 weeks on it. And if you remember the layouts of the pathing earlier, notice how they're following those lines almost exactly, only deviating to dodge or otherwise engage in combat as directed by their code. Which, granted, is engaging in combat in most of the time, but still, point still stands. And oh my god, what's just happened over there? Yeah.